Hello everyone, welcome to Edgerunners HQ and our Cyberpunk RED talk show, Night City Sofa. I am your host, Jesper, and I'm here alongside my co-host, Games End. Hello, buddy.
Hi, I'm co-host Games End.
Yes, you are. And joining us on the sofa today is fellow Shades of Scarlet cast member, Hades. Welcome, Hades.
Hello.
Tonight we're going to be talking about our Talsorian Games' Cyberpunk RED September DLC Single Player Mode Plus. This DLC released alongside Single Player Mode, the newest supplement for Cyberpunk RED, released by our Talsorian Games, which we'll be talking about in depth next week. For now, if you can't afford Single Player Mode or you're still waiting because you're not sure if it's right for you, you can still download and use this free DLC in your games, and that's going to be like the core of the show tonight. You can find all Cyberpunk RED DLCs at rtalsoriangames.com/downloadable-content. Each DLC is completely free, provides lore mechanical content. You can also pick them up individually or buy in a bundle over on DriveThruRPG.
Can I say one thing? And I know I'm interrupting. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say that, like, after test driving this DLC, they have a QR code that'll take you to the store page to buy regular single player mode when you're ready for it. So it's like, after you check this out, you'll be ready.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Last thing is a general spoiler warning. As we go through this DLC, we are likely to talk about or reference characters or events from Shades of Scarlet, which is a long-running Cyberpunk RED actual play over on Saves First Death. So if you're not caught up or you don't want spoilers for that, this is your general here. There's probably, possibly, maybe going to be spoiler warning. Now, before we get into the DLC, I want to give a quick explanation of single-player mode. It does require the Cyberpunk RED core rulebook to play. It was created by our Talsorian Games and Peter Norton of Hollow Pond Solo Sagas to create a supplement that provides all the tools a gamer needs to play Cyberpunk RED on their own, or as part of a group with no game master, aka a GM-less game. Single player mode also functions as an assistant GM to give inspiration or help fill in blanks as you're playing or coming up with a campaign. Now this DLC, Single Player Mode Plus, gives a sampling of what the tables you'll find in Single Player Mode kind of look like and how to use them. And we're going to talk to you about how you can use these tables in your game. Anything from you guys? You're super quiet.
No.
I mean, you know, it sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, how often do you not... I mean, I've been in that situation where it's like nobody wants to be the GM or nobody feels comfortable doing it. And I mean, jumping in and just being able to do that, I think is a really cool way to do it. I mean, that way nobody has to do that.
Well, and there's so many games that I've wanted to play, but I cannot find anybody to play them with me. Like, regularly, we're all busy human beings. Like, I can think of a lot of the, Monty Cook games that I'm like, oh, I really want to play that, but there just isn't time to get a group together. So having something like a single player mode like this is amazing. Maybe like the people you hang out with aren't into Cyberpunk, but you want to play Cyberpunk. This is that.
Yeah. And if you only have like a couple hours here or there, you can still play a game and, you know, tell a story on your own, which is really nice, kind of at your own pace too.
Yeah. And I mean, all the other great benefits that you talked about, like if you're the GM and you're like, all right, there's noise on the street that you can hear from your window. It is the vrooming sound of motorcycle engines.
Vroom, vroom.
It could buy you the precious few moments you need to set up for what you want them to do instead of what they're doing.
Or when you have an plot pointed out and they decide to do something completely different. Single player mode is great for that. So for the DLC now, Single Player Mode Plus, it is written and designed by Jay Gray. It is a 6-page DLC that contains 22 tables and lists compiled from past works and tweaked to fit Cyberpunk RED. So if you're familiar with Cyberpunk 2020, Cyber Generation, and even Cyberpunk version 3, you may recognize these tables and lists. First up... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's crazy. They, like, pulled from all the entire canon. Like, everything, which I appreciate so very much. You would never see, and this is not me talking ill of another company or anything, but you'd never see Wizards of the Coast be like, hey, you remember that chart in 2nd edition? Let's go ahead and reprint that real quick, because I'm sure it'll work out here. So I just appreciate their, like, no, like, the whole universe, like, you know, it's cool. That's all.
It is. And not just reprinted, but tweaked to fit the system.
To work, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so first up, character tables. These tables include NPC motivation, NPC competence, NPC aggression. There's a table on why a character may hate the organization, a table for high rider careers, which is, I know a lot of people are very excited about because high riders, and finally a table for artificial intelligence levels. Now the NPC tables can be used together or separately depending on your needs. These tables aren't just for the GM either, so if you've rolled enemies or friends on your life path, or if, you know, you chose to have a partner during your role path at character creation, these tables can assist you in creating a deeper understanding of who that NPC is. But how did this all work? I'm going to have Hades and Games roll one die. I will roll the other. And we're going to come up with an NPC. So, Games, buddy, if you could roll character motivation.
1d10.
1d10.
I got an 8.
Love of order. So their motivation
Paladin, huh?
is very anti-U
That
type.
sounds just like a character you would make for sure.
Right. If I ran into this NPC, like, you meet somebody in a dark alley, go ahead and roll. Oh, it's somebody who loves order. Like, oh no.
Because you are such a chaos gremlin.
Such a chaos gremlin. Hades, go ahead and roll a d10 for NPC competence.
3.
3. Mildly inept.
Good for me.
And actually, you know what? Games, I'm gonna have you roll the last d10 for NPC aggression.
Sure. 8 again.
Aggressive.
So
I
are a paladin.
I love that this character is very aggressively, like, for me, what this says is this NPC is very aggressive about their love for keeping things neat and in order. Whatever order that means to them. Doesn't mean it's a good order, but for them, it's very important. But they're mildly inept, so their aggression towards keeping this probably isn't going to go great.
It's probably internal aggression, obviously. And they probably have CDO.
Yeah.
So
I feel like, and again, okay, so slight spoiler for Shades. Apart from the aggression level, I feel like this could be David. You know, David has a love of order to try to get his bands into gigs and he wants them there, but he's mildly inept at actually performing that job.
Right.
But he would love it. He would love it if musicians would show up on time and the gig would go smooth. He just can't get there.
That would be amazing.
The only thing is, the aggression level doesn't match David, but I would say that the other two would fit him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's funny because, like, you say, like, minus one thing, it could be David. And it's like, for me, it's like, minus one thing, the love of order, it would be Dave Wacko.
Yeah.
Mildly
he's
inept
mildly
and
inept.
aggressive. Is
and
he
aggressive.
inept?
So
Is he inept? I don't know that
We've
he's ever
never seen him be
failed at a goal.
particularly good at something.
Has he ever failed though? He put
Yeah,
off a
that's
great
true.
performance, and I think whenever he definitely aggressive in whatever he does, 100%.
But I think we rolled 3 dice and we've built an interesting character that you can go a lot of different directions with.
Yeah, you've got a great start there. So yeah, that's kind of just how those tables work.
Yep.
Now, I think that the competence table can be a really fun tool, and not just for like social interactions, but also for combat. Because yes, tactics
Right.
are important, but not everyone thinks the same way, and having one or more NPCs that aren't always A tier can make for some like confusing but real moments that happen. For example, Moxie in combat tends to be very tactical. Wraith, on the other hand, makes decisions that are very questionable.
They're tactical in a different way.
Mildly inept, one might say. And I think having that on the NPC side too, where especially if you're rolling like mooks and they're just like gang members or grunts, and they're not going to be like your max tech or your militech, like we've been trained for this, having them make dumb decisions, or having that competence table where maybe some are really on top of things and some are just like don't know which end of the gun is the barrel, would be hilarious.
Some Tiger Claw lieutenant's like nephew needed a job,
Yeah.
so they gave him a job.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
So consider, I would say, I don't know, I think it would be fun to consider using the competence table for combat as well, not just social interactions. Or
For
even
sure.
setting up a trap, like how competent are these people at this thing?
Right.
Now, if you're building an NPC and you need a reason that they dislike whatever thing they're going up against, then I would absolutely use the why do they hate this organization table. Or if you're a player
There's some
and
good stuff in there.
and you need to find a common ground to be part of that goal, also a really great table to use. However, my favorite table in this section is the artificial intelligence level table. AI is something that can be forgotten a lot of the time, especially in the dark future where AI is all around us. The most interaction a player should have is with their agent. Because an agent is an artificial intelligence system that is essentially a personal assistant in a device. And I know Shades of Scarlet were really bad at treating our agents like personal assistants, like they're like legitly there. But they are, and they can be. They listen to your conversation, they learn from you and your experiences, they react. Now, not every agent AI is going to be the same, or learn the same way, or respond in similar manners. But for example, again, maybe slight spoilers, Moxie's agent at this point in time probably has adult intelligence. She doesn't use it that way because she doesn't like technology. But with its adult intelligence, which I'm sure you could get with a competent, like just a decent agent, not like a poor quality agent, but like a decent agent. Since she has a biomonitor that's linked to her agent, when she gets a critical injury, it probably automatically schedules an appointment with Pawns. Moxie needs surgery.
Yeah.
Probably.
Here's this date.
Sure.
She has this injury. Or at least it would know
It's
to
booking
ask
surgeries.
that. Or, after she's in combat
Right.
and the heart rate drops back down, it's like, by the way, I've scheduled you an appointment on this day at the Twin Scalpels. Would you like me to confirm?
I really love the childlike intelligence one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has like a short attention span and it has a hard time understanding complex things.
Yes.
I love that.
So in the homebrew that I'm currently writing, which is a gig, I read this table and I saw that and I love that. And I was like, well, where else would you have AI? And it dawned on me that probably a lot of hotels and cube hotels are AI driven. Like, yeah, there's a property owner and yeah, they exist, but why are they going to waste their time renting out a cube room for like a day, a week, whatever? Just let an AI handle it. You walk up to the board, it tells you if there's availability, you pay through the system, you get your key card, you go. And then I was like, what if that AI is as dumb as a hamster? Where it's like, it can understand simple tasks, and it understands threats and gifts, but it doesn't know anything beyond that, and it has a very short attention span, and I'm like, this would be the most painful AI to try and converse with. And so now that is an obstacle in my game, where it's like, there's the person in this apartment building they have to talk to, and they have to get past the AI.
Nice.
The AI is your enemy now.
And yes, you could pay for a cube room. Absolutely. It's going to charge you for the full month because it's dumb. But you could do it.
It's too bad it's not at that sex hotel that we read about. What was that, last week?
Dilly's?
You rent the key card from the vendant.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that too. How well that one's working, you don't know. But I think it could be.
Key card
Go ahead.
and your gun, mark gun, all in the same place.
Right next to each other. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I think, AI is, especially in our game, we sleep on it a lot, and I think it could be really fun to give those things more personality.
For sure.
And that's it for the character tables. Did you guys have any questions before we move on?
No, I think I'm good.
No.
Okay.
We didn't really talk about the high rider careers. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about there. It is a really good list, but it is harder to work into a normal story unless that's what you're telling.
Yeah. If you have high riders and you need careers, that's a table.
Yep. Ta-da!
Okay, so next is encounters. The tables in this section are encounters on the subway, encounters on a transport, encounters on the road, encounters in a court building, and weather on the high seas. Now, as a tool, each of these tables can help give ideas, flesh out a space, or bolster a scene. I'm just going to use, I just want to give like a quick sample, so I'm not going to roll on all these tables, but I would like to use the encounters on the subway table. So, Hades, if you could roll me, was it a D10?
Yep.
Pretty please.
10.
A 10. Okay, so another passenger tries to slip their hand into an edge runner's pocket and steal an item. And if I mix this with the NPC that we had above that we rolled, they're going to be very aggressive about this, but they're mildly inept, so they're probably not going to succeed. So now it'll be up to the edge runner, or the crew member, whoever it was that's getting their pocket picked, to determine how they want to handle this. I could also, because it's encountered in the subway, I could also use the data pack and roll on that to add a little bit more. So, Games, do you want to give me a D100?
I love that one. I would love to give you a D100.
Thanks.
I got a 45.
45. An unremarkable looking woman, wearing a pair of socks with sharp pointed steel knitting needles. The sock she's knitting is red. So if I wanted to mix this unassuming woman on the subway who's knitting a red sock gets up and attempts to pick your pocket aggressively, but she's holding a pair of steel knitting needles. Now all of a sudden that mildly inept could still be very dangerous. Maybe she stabbed you while trying to pick your pocket. Not for a lot of damage,
Yes.
but
That's what
Oops.
That's exactly what I picture with the knitting needles. Ah! What?
And now that I have like all this information, I have a character, I have their personality, I have a scene, I have, this encounter, what do I do with it? Well, if I'm the GM, I could have this as a setup the next time my crew ever uses the subway. Just, this is an encounter I know will attempt to happen and let that play out. But if I'm a player, I can use this during any sort of downtime or length of time that's not scene-worthy. So if I spend time, say, doing like a hustle that week, right? Maybe nothing happened in the hustle that's necessarily impactful, but hey, on my way to or from work, I had this really weird encounter in the subway, and I get to just narrate this little scene that happened to my character. And I think that's really cool, and it gives a little bit more life to moments that could otherwise just be like a dice roll and here's your money, and it's kind of just boring. This adds more to it.
And if you were like single player journaling this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your character, you're on the subway, all of this stuff happens. Well, then you run into like they're about structure and order and law, and they're pickpocketing from you. Why? So that gives you a really interesting thing to explore, like what made them think that this was what they needed to do to maintain structure and order, and like how do you interact with that person directly after it. So it gives you a wide enough open area that you really have something to work with if you want to. And we literally just rolled random dice, so it's not like we structured this at all, but it gives you like things that you can explore.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to actually steal from you with pickpocket. They were trying to put the red sock into your pocket because they have a love of order that everybody needs clothing. Yeah.
You've got one sock on, one red and one blue sock, and that's really making them mad.
Yeah.
So they're like darning a red sock so they can put it in your pocket so you have a matching sock.
Yes.
I love it.
The
But they screw up because they stab you with the knitting needles while they try to do it.
The subway lurches and they stab you
at just the wrong time.
That's hilarious. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of tables to help you depending on what type of encounter you're looking for or what you're trying to do, where you are in the scene. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Hades.
With the things, talk about the things and the tables. So these are the thing tables. There is random junk and garbage, which is just it's what it says it is. It's just a lot of different things with that, and I think it can add to a scene for sure. If they're what do you see, and you can use it for like a detective thing. Like one of them is like a used drug paraphernalia, so like you find that, or a burnt out memory chip. And then there's a listening device location, which I think is great. That's probably my favorite table out of the two, because it's just like, I don't know where to put it. Well, now there's a table for that, and I can just roll on that, and we find out where it goes.
Yep. You're like, all right, I've decided the bad guys have bugged their apartment, but I haven't decided where it is, and now they're searching for it. It's in an outlet.
Number 3. You gotta roll the 3, I see. All right. But yeah, and I think that it can really add to that scene. So, but the listening devices, video devices, I mean, you can do all sorts of things with this. And just adding random things to the world just makes it feel more real, like when you're role playing and stuff. Because like that scene and that image and that everything really adds to that. And I think without a GM, sometimes you can lose some of that. So I think having that kind of stuff as an option will definitely add to the story you're creating yourself or with your GM-less group.
Oh, for sure.
And even if you have a GM,
there's
like the listening device, right? If you're going to plant a bug in someone's apartment and they're like, okay, your GM's like, where do you plant it? And you're like, roll on the table.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's perfect too.
Yeah.
Good call.
They are, while tables, it's so easy to say that tables are good for GMs, don't sleep on it as a player. They're simply tools.
Yeah.
Or you can combine them. I
And
noticed
they're
that one of the things in the junk table is a broken TV. Plant your listening device and if it says, if you get a piece of furniture, maybe that piece of furniture is a broken TV. Why not?
Right. There you go.
It's true. Well, and I was going to say about the junk table, the opening a box in an alley and finding a small TV that's been smashed in is vastly different than finding part of a corpse.
Yeah.
So, like...
Oh yeah, so yeah, definitely, and just like in D&D, a corpse is considered a thing.
Right.
Right, item.
I think the 20...
Can I put that in my inventory?
The junk table too can be really cool if you mix it with the Salvaging Night City DLC. Because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
yes, you go and you find these things that you can repair, but you know what? Roll me on the junk table and see what other random junk you find.
Yeah.
For sure. That's any questions, comments, concerns?
I don't believe so.
Then I will pass it right along to Games
Bum bum bum.
and his
So
atmosphere
yeah,
table.
I'll be talking about the atmosphere table first, which I think is amazing. Because so the tables that are in the section are the elements of cyberpunk nightlife, and then a hot night in the city, and then last the sounds of the night. And so these are the reason I picked to talk about this section in particular is because I really like that, this is the setting glitz part of it, like you can't sleep in the middle of the night. Jess, go and give me a D10 roll.
9.
9. Outside you're here outside your cube hotel you're staying in, you hear the woo 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 of police whizzing by. There appears to be a high-speed chase going on just outside your cube hotel.
Definitely going up on the roof to
establishing-
watch.
Right. But that's just on the sound of Night City table. There's so many cool things in here. Maybe you go into a room and there's video screens advertising stuff in every available flat surface. There's so many interesting things you can do here. Or it's Friday night, you're walking down the street, what's going on? Hades, you want to give me a D10?
9.
9, you guys are doing really well. You walk out your apartment to the street, and there seems to be a large pageant going on that is brought to you by some corporation. They're having a large sponsored event and releasing a new item, and they've just taken over the street that you live on to do this event, and that's just what's going on in the
Clearly
world.
it's Segatari, and it's an ELO event. For the
Right,
new
yeah. You walk
TCG
outside
pack.
and everybody's got ears.
Yes. Indeed.
We're not biased at all.
Right.
No, not at all.
So as far as the atmosphere tables, those 3 tables, I really like that they're just the tables that Jess talked about are really good for establishing a character and making an interesting character that can be built into the world. The stuff Hades talked about makes it full in 3D. This is just the weird stuffing, the fluff that can change the world just enough.
It's like the spice.
Yeah, right. Too much cilantro.
Soap.
And on the converse of that, I'm going to talk about the mechanical tables as well, which... So, 3 of the 4 tables are just basic attack style tables, and they're interesting and really good, especially if you're running a solo attack, scatter table for if a grenade lands where it's supposed to or not, or if you're being shot at, what location did they shoot you at, or if the car you're driving in is being shot at, where on the vehicle was it shot. Those are good combat market tables, blah 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 blah. But then the second of the 4 tables in this section is called Hollywood Overacting Effects. And they're things like target stares stupidly at the wound. Okay, you gonna roll it?
6.
6.
How do I die?
Target slumps to the ground, moaning.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
And so, like, everything on here, or like, number 1, the target screams, wind me alarms, and then falls over. Like, these are so lovely. Like, they don't, if I'm being honest, they don't have a place in a serious game, for the most part. But that doesn't mean they're not amazing.
I would like to counter that point.
In a serious game.
Alright.
People do that, for real.
It's true. Well, I haven't seen a lot of people get shot, so...
Lately.
Yeah.
Blank and I were talking about this, because he was like, I would never, this table's really fun, but I would never use it. And,
Right.
you know, one of the things I said, I was like, well, it depends on, like, who, you know, what you're fighting. I could see, if you're fighting bozos, this is a great table. Every bozo should die with the Hollywood acting table. Because that is right up there, even in a serious campaign, because that gang is that gang. That makes sense.
Right.
Or if you were trying to fight one of the, I want to say primetime players, because they're all based on characters from film and from film, right? Film, TV. So it would make sense for them. But also, okay, we also joke slightly that I definitely was like, Swag gives these directions to his actors all the time. But if you're playing a rocker boy that's not a musician, but like an actor, you could use this. Just like, don't die. But anytime you get shot, you make some big production out of it. Like if you were playing a very dramatic character, or you have a very dramatic NPC, use this table. Use this table all the time.
Like, I love in Zootopia the blood.
Blood.
Yeah,
Blood.
that's right.
Fate.
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, the other table's very helpful, especially if you're doing like single player combat with like yourself or, you know, whatever. Helpful as a GM if you're like, I don't know where they're gonna shoot you, you can roll like, oh, they've choose to shoot you in the leg. But
especially
the most
if they're,
fun
like,
of all these
with
tables.
the competence table, if they're like low competence and you don't know what they would do because they're not intelligent, just roll. See what happens.
Exactly.
They're
Sorry.
aggressive, but not very competent. They're targeting your head, so -8 to this roll.
But man, they're gonna try.
Swinging for the fence. But yeah, the overacting table is amazing. So
Awesome.
And finally, the last table, our last group of tables in this DLC is the medical tables. And we have two. One is for surgical complications, and the other one is for medical symptoms. Now, for me, medical symptoms, I would use very sparingly depending on when you're doing it. I would give a surgical complication anytime you go to get treated and the roll fails. Doesn't have to be a critical fail. Definitely on a critical fail. But if they just fail to hit that DV, give them a surgical complication. Or, you know, if you were out in some bad weather, or say it was raining for like, you know, all day and the crew decided to go out and party, give them medical symptoms. Be like, hey, you've got now a sore throat and a cough for 1d6 days. Have fun. Or you as a player can choose to, you know, say like, you know what, my character's not feeling very well today. Why is that? Oh, okay. I apparently have a fever, you know, or chills.
yeah.
So they're going to be grumpy on this run the entire time. Although if it was a botched surgery, Games, go ahead and roll me a d10.
Oh no.
See, on a
I would never botch a surgery.
on a failed roll, but not like a critical fail, I would probably go 1 through 10. But if it was a critical fail, I'd only roll like the 6 through 10.
I got a 4.
So 4 is none.
Yeah.
But if you rolled a critical fail, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just doing like 6 to 10. Damage, reduce the stat by 1 for 1d6 days.
Ouch.
Yep. Checkers is just a little bit slower for the next 5 days.
Her movement goes back down to 4 again for 1d6 days.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
She'd be so upset.
She would.
That'd be hilarious. So yeah, and that's the tables, guys. Those are all the tables. Feel free to use them as players to bolster your own narrative. There's nothing stopping you unless your GM says, no, I don't like this. Really, there's nothing stopping you from adding this flavor into your stories and into your life.
Yep.
Roll in the intelligence level and tell me how intelligent your agent truly is. I'd be curious to know.
Yeah. Mine is probably real dumb.
Yours must be really dumb.
No, I feel like Wraith is actually very smart and gets very frustrated. Or it's like that's
All
the
the
only
time.
reason anything happens like in Wraith's life where it's okay. That's why he always has clothes ready and available, because his agent has sent them out to be cleaned or bought replacements. It's the only reason there's food in the fridge.
Right.
Or it's not actually people calling him, it's his agent calling and reaching out for him.
Right.
And that's why he's getting called.
Yeah, it's
I
very
mean,
intelligent,
from
just
the-
as everything
from the
behind
boss.
the scenes.
But yeah. This
any-
really makes me excited for the full single player mode that we're going to talk about next
Exactly.
week.
Yeah. Any final thoughts that we haven't discussed?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I love the cover.
I mean, I guess the only thought I had when we were switching over to the medical table was, well, if you roll the Hollywood death scene table, if you're not dying, you roll this table.
Could be fun. So feel free to use in your games. Let us know how it went in your games. Very curious to hear about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd love to hear. Like, comment, subscribe. You can put all that information below about how intelligent your agent is or how well these roles have worked for you.
Please do. We'd love to hear it. With that, that will conclude this episode of Night City Sofa. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you, Hades, for being here and sharing your thoughts and insight on the DLC. Wonderful to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And if you guys would like to connect with Edgerunners HQ, you can head on over to Blue Sky, Patreon, YouTube, Twitch. Just search Edgerunners HQ. You'll find us. Night City Sofa will return next week to talk about single player mode, the latest Cyberpunk RED supplement from our Talsorian Games, and we will showcase a small scenario. We'll play through a small scenario, actually rolling through the book and stuff. So you'll get a good sense of what's inside.
Exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Very excited to play through. So until next time, James. Meow for now.